In 12?
That's
I'm sorry,
prom.
prom. So when prom came along, who asked you? You don't have to say her whole name, just say her first name.
I mean, like, yeah, Danica.
So then she asked him to go to prom. And of course, me being mom, I had some concerns because it's prom. And I just wanted to make sure that Shyheem wasn't being used as like a sympathy charity case type thing, So I had a whole lot of concerns because I just didn't, I, I, I don't know. I just didn't feel safe about him going out, but we had to let him go. And so, he had a date and she came and picked him up, and you can take it from there. Go ahead.
It wasn't really a date. It was kind of like,
okay.
Like,
not
yes,
a date.
Yeah, like I did like went with a group. Like it was fine a little bit. It just didn't really go well as planned. Because
okay, but tell them why it didn't go planned. You don't have to say who did what, but you can tell them why.
Like we just went like all like off course and stuff. Like we did like go to the place where like I met like all my friends and stuff. We took pictures and everything. But we didn't make it in time to like see Avengers Endgame. Okay.
So this is where we can talk about routine. So we talked a little bit before about kids that have autism are very routine. And if you tell them this is what we're going to do, then they hold you to that. So there was a whole plan because, of course, as a parent, I wanted to know, what are y'all going to do? So this was the plan. They were supposed to go to the event. From there, they were going to take pictures. Then you were going to go eat. And then you were going to the movies, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So Shyheem had to learn, and it's important that they learn life lessons. So Shyheem, that's what he heard, and that's what he thought was going to happen. But of course, when you're with other people, one of those persons that you were with, which was the person who asked you to go, she knows you. But the other two people that was in that group, they're not really Shyheem's friends. They just was a part of the group, right?
Yes.
Right. So then they had the wise idea that they weren't going to go to the movies anymore, that they were going to try to sneak into where?
Into somewhere like...
It's like a bar or something, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so they had the bright idea that they was going to try to sneak into a bar. And of course, it made Shyheem kind of uncomfortable. But of course, he's with the group and he wants to go see the movie. So it didn't go as planned, and he came home and he was a little disappointed. But again, in everything, there's a lesson to be taught. And so he learned that lesson, that sometimes things don't go exactly the way that you think they're going to go. And there's times where people break their word, People can tell you they're going to do something, but it doesn't always go the way that you plan on going. Or people that you think are cool and they're your friend, sometimes they're not. So that was a hard lesson to learn as well, right?
Well, yes, we basically have that like every time I'm with Blitz and Doc and
yeah. So you have your own friends and y'all have your conversations about that as well. So I think that kind of covered everything as far as school. Is there anything else we want to talk about before we get off? We're not going to stay on here too long. We hope that we've helped somebody with... Oh, let's address another question. I think last time we were here, someone asked about bedtime routines. So someone asked me, it's very hard to get their kid to go to bed at night. But I think we had somewhat of a routine with that also, remember? Or do you remember?
It's just as simple like bedtime. Like, yeah, it's just like when it's 9 o'clock, then you just go to bed. But now, like...
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's how it was for me and Layla.
No, do you remember the time where I told you, I said, Shyheem, it's time for you to go to bed. And then I heard you making noise in your room. And it's because... Okay, so I'll tell them. So what happened was, it was time for Shyheem to go to bed. And I was like, Shyheem, it's time for you to go to bed. We always have the routine where you clean your mess up in your room. You put all your toys and stuff away. And then, it's time to go to bed. Well, Shyheem had these little men that kind of glow in the dark or something. Or they were dinosaurs or something. I don't remember. We was at... Oh. Yes, we was on Ball Lane, I think. Or I can't remember.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. But anyway, it was bedtime. And kids like him, everything has to be in order. And so when I say it's time to go to bed, it's time. And I used to give him, hey, you got 5 minutes. All right, hey, you got another minute. It's time to go to bed. So it's kind of like a countdown, and that works. And you have to start with this route, since they're such routine kids. If you start that routine, they'll get used to it. Well, I told him it was time to bed, and then he had not closed his closet door. He had not closed the drawers to his dressers, and his little men that he usually plays with weren't lined up. So I came in, get in bed. It's time to go to bed. I cut off the light. Well, guess what? He gets up in the dark and closes the closet and closes the drawers and starts to line his men up on the dresser. Because no matter what, if the lights are on or off, he was going to make sure that things were the way they're supposed to go. So if you set a routine, it'll usually work. So you just got to be very, very, very repetitive. Also, another thing is, so we talked about it last time about being very repetitive and repeating the same thing. So Shyheem used to say, I'm sorry, but I'm sorry, Mom, but I'm sorry.
We did cover that.
We covered that. And then we used to also, it was something else. Well, anyway, when we went to speech therapy, it was very frustrating for me as a parent because I wanted to help him to communicate better. It's not that he couldn't talk. He just wasn't communicating. He wasn't answering the questions that I had for him. So with the routine of things that he used to do, he used to say things or do things that I would give a reaction. Okay? So, did you curse? Was it cursing? Did you curse?
I mean,
it was something. It was something. I can't remember right now, but I remember it was something he used to do, and I used to get so upset. And so one day, the speech therapist told me, she says, Mom, if you don't react, then they'll stop. So most of the things that they're doing to get a reaction, they continue to do because you're going to give them a reaction. So if it's something, let's just say it's cursing. Okay. He could say the curse word and I'm like, don't say that. Or, every time he does it, I get upset. Well, guess what he's going to do? He likes that reaction. So he's going to continue to do it. So she just told me whenever he does it, don't make no big deal out of it. Just make like it's just a regular thing. And it stopped. Just like that. No reaction, no repeats. So I'm just saying some things you got to pick your battles. I learned that early on too. It's just not worth it. Everything's not a fight. Some things you just have to give in. And so we worked through that for sure. We did. Yes. Yes. So as you see Shyheem right now, he's trying to be so very mature, and I'm not showing any expressions. But that's another part of Shyheem too, that they take things very literally. Literally. I remember when we went to the speech therapist, and remember they said, it's raining cats and dogs. And then you said what?
I don't remember that.
You was like, that makes no sense at all. What do you mean? It's not raining. You can't rain cats and dogs, because it didn't really connect. It's kind of like, so little things like that, you don't understand the underlying meaning of what they're doing. Remember we talked about how somebody could be insulting you and making fun of you, but you don't really understand because you don't get the underlying joke that they're saying in there.
Yes. Yeah.
But it was little things like that, raining cats and dogs, or, oh, you it's hotter than whatever. Yeah, so he takes things very literally.
You used to, like nowadays, like whenever like y'all joke and stuff, sometimes I can't even tell if you're joking or not, or you're serious or not. True, exactly.
But you do things. Okay, you want to talk about when you got your driver's? Now Shyheem got his driver's license. Yay! Yeah. So that was a big task for us. Also, he did get his driver's license. It did help that his dad taught him. So the comfortability with that helped a lot too. But speaking of things literally, when you say you come to a stop sign and you're supposed to stop before the stop sign, I promise you, when he drives, he's going to stop right there. Like, not even an inch past it. It's like right there at the stop sign. And of course, we always know you don't go, I mean, you're not going through the stop sign. You just, sometimes you go a little bit past it. But if you do anything outside of the norm that you've said, you're going to catch it. Do you remember when we used to, you want to tell them your other thing about animals? Like, Shyheem, your memory?
I mean, like, I don't want to, like...
You don't want to, what, brag?
No, I mean, not brag or anything like that. I mean, like, yeah, I just had a fascination with, like, animals at the time, but...
You still got a fascination with animals, don't you think?
I mean, like, of course I do, but I just don't, but it's just the facts. They're just, like, running a little bit...
Yes. So, with facts, Shyheem has an amazing memory as well. Shyheem can memorize... He just remembers like things, and I used to call him Inspector Corrector, because I would say something like, go get me the red shoe out of my room by the dresser. He would come back and be like, it's not red, it's magenta. Okay, boy. Like, you know what I'm talking about? It's
well, like, how am I supposed to, like, know? Like, how am I supposed to know, like, what color it is, or like, what it says, or anything like that?
No, but I'm saying you're very specific about things. Okay, so if I said this was I would say, Shyheem, why are you wearing this baseball tee? Right? You're going to say, what? It's not a baseball tee. It's a t-shirt. It's just a regular t-shirt. Why are you calling it a baseball tee?
That's what I would use. That's what you're kind of like being like in the past. Like right now.
No, you really do that today.
What?
You correct me on stuff today.
Well, like it depending on like the words. I mean, like usually it's the like. Yes, I know you and Dad joke around with the words, like word playing.
Okay, so what's one thing that you correct me on today? Like what could I do today? Not back then. Today that you would correct me on.
What could you do? Like. You just
even
said,
words right there.
You just said like I was confused. Like you said like.
Okay, so name one thing today that you correct me on.
Nothing.
Yes, you do. Yes.
I don't even remember. I don't even know. I'm serious.
Okay, so nothing today, but I can say something like, I can say go downstairs in the pantry. Go downstairs in the pantry and get me a paper plate. Now, I got mom brain, right? I know that we keep the paper plates
in the cabinet.
But if I say, Shyheem, go downstairs in the pantry and get me a paper plate, what you gonna say?
They're in the cabinet.
You see what I'm saying? But you know where they are, but he's gonna correct me. Like, I can always depend on Shyheem to correct me. Or if I'm talking to somebody and I'm like, hey, we got a doctor. First of all, you can't keep no secret with Shyheem because he's going to tell it. He's going to tell it.
Used to. I can't keep
I can say,
secret
Shyheem,
now.
Okay, I'm going to tell somebody. We are going to, we got plans. We're going to the park at 4 o'clock. Now, me and Shyheem know that our plan is to go to the park at 1. If I'm talking to somebody who's like, hey, I can't really talk to you because we're going to the park at 4. Shyheem will say, no. It's at 1 o'clock, Mom. And I'm just like, Shy.
Used to, Mom.
Okay, what about when the joke with Layla?
Wait.
Remember I told you, I said, I'm going to play a prank on her. And I want you to act like you don't know what I'm talking about. And then you told her anyway.
Yes, used to during the time.
You see how he just got serious? He's taking things literally.
That's just the way like how I am, like how I just matured and stuff. That's
Okay, so we're going to finish up with just a maturity thing, and then we'll get back on other stuff. In a couple of days, we'll make another video. But, go ahead. So, why is it important for you to look so serious on camera?
Not on camera. Like you basically meant like in life.
Okay,
like right now, like I'm just like this because like I don't know like what I'm supposed to do. Like,
okay.
Like I'm just listening, but still like cringing from like the past. That's all that.
Why are you cringing from the past?
Even though it did happen, yes, I'm just like
So you don't want people to know?
I mean, like they already do know, but it's just.
Okay, so we're gonna end it on this right here. Okay, this is gonna be the last little thing. Okay, we're gonna talk about some other stuff later on because there's a whole lot that we're gonna share with y'all. But let me leave you with this. Moms and parents, we ain't gonna have all the right answers. We ain't gonna never always do things right. It's gonna be things that happen. Just chalk it up to the game. I mean, I have done some major stuff that well, I haven't done anything bad. I'm just saying it could have gone wrong. I sent him to the bathroom one time in the store by himself, and then I couldn't find him. Couldn't find him at all. I was screaming in the store. I just knew my husband was gonna kill me. It happened. Another thing was, we're gonna leave you with this. So as a mom, I tried to like walk him, walk around the neighborhood, because he was at home with me. So I'm like, okay, let's go take walks. We walk around the neighborhood, whatever the case. So we had just moved to this new neighborhood, and the neighborhood was like it's one way in and one way out of this little neighborhood. And so we used to walk around the block, And then one day, it was like the weekend, and it was raining really hard. And so everybody went to go take a nap. Well, every time we got up from nap after nap time, we would go for our walks. That's what we always did during the weekday. So this time, me and my husband woke up from the nap. My daughter was still sleeping, and we saw that his door was open in his room. And I was like, oh my gosh, where is Shyheem? So we thought that he was playing around, hiding from us or something. Shyheem had gotten up from his nap, opened the door, and walked. And just went walking. Looking for us. I guess he didn't remember that we was in there laying down taking a nap also. So he left. It was pouring rain. He had no shoes on. He had on a pair of shorts. And he left and he went walking, and we were freaking out because we could not find him. But that's something that it was his routine. Like after we take a nap, we go for a walk. So that's what he did. And he was just walking, looking for us, and a couple of the neighbors came, and they was like, we found him. But my concern more than anything was, had he taken the one wrong turn, he'd have went out of the neighborhood onto the main street. And so it's just little things that you learn from, whether it means from now on we're going to put a double lock on the door where he can't reach, whatever it takes, whatever you got to do. We had bunk beds. I remember putting sheets in between the rails so that he couldn't climb on the top bump, because I was afraid if he jumped on the top bump and jumped off, he was going to break his leg or something. So I remember putting towels on the rails. You remember that? You remember I put towels in between your rails on the bunk bed so you couldn't get on there? And then I put towels in between the staircase so y'all couldn't stick your head through the rails on the staircase. Oh. Do you remember that? There's a picture with you and Layla, and there's towels in between the rails so that y'all wouldn't get stuck. Also, okay, I'm going to leave y'all with this for real. But we enjoy talking to you. You want to tell them what happened when I caught you and Layla in the room and y'all was on the bunk bed? What were you doing? What were you doing to the ceiling? When I finally took the towels off of the bunk bed rails, what did you and Layla get in trouble for? What were y'all doing in your room on the bunk beds?
I don't remember.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. I really
y'all
don't.
Remember the ceiling thing y'all was doing?
What? What were we doing?
Scraping the stuff off.
What?
Okay. So anyway.
Oh my God.
Yes. So anyway, I took the towels off of the bunk bed because I thought they were old enough. And then I keep hearing this doo, doo, doo upstairs. So what it was, when I came in the room, him and my daughter were covered in the popcorn ceilings that they used to have in the older homes. Yes, him and my daughter had climbed on top of the bunk bed, and as they jumped off of the bunk bed, they would hit the ceiling and make the popcorn ceiling stuff fall down on top of them. So yes, things like that, you just gotta go, okay, Lord, I ain't gonna hurt them, although I really want to hurt them. Yes, stuff like that. My daughter was covered in the white stuff, and they just kept jumping over and over. Climb up, hit it, jump off, climb up. So you already know what came next. That's the end of the bump beds. Now we got to get rid of the bump beds. There's a lot of things we bought and got rid of. Trust me when I tell you. But, all right. I don't think Shyheem's very talkative today.
Like what? I'm just being patient.
Are you being patient? There's nothing you want to talk about? This is your page. I've been talking.
I know.
I've been talking the whole time.
It's fine. Like I just.
But they want to know about you. They want to hear you talk.
I know, but it's really great to like hear like all like some of the good stuff, like the memories, the good parts of the memories. That's what's.
Well, life is about good and bad, so. And of course, we're up here to help other people, right?
Yes.
So they can learn from our stuff and get little tips.
Yes.
Okay. So what you want to talk about next time? You gonna tell them what we're gonna talk about next time? Bring up a subject and we'll talk about it next time.
There's
What do you want to talk about next time? Oh, did you talk about all the stuff you wanted to talk about?
Oh, that's for something else. That's for just my YouTube work.
Okay. So what do you think that they would learn from next time?
Well, learn from when it comes to like dreams or something, like dreams about like goals in life and achieving and like.
You want to talk about college and try to get in college and then.
Well, I don't really have like.
Well, you can tell them what happened with that. And then you can tell them about your dreams and your goals. You want to talk about that next time?
It'll be fine.
Okay.
All right. Also, like you also said, and the mature part. The reason why I'm mature is because when I was around 14 and 15 years old, I just decided to just grow up some more. Like I just followed everything I did from what my parents told me to do because I believe that I believe that it would make me feel like a better person, like a much more better person than I ever could be. So I got like my schoolwork completed. Like I depended on that, like getting everything done as possible, and just eventually just want to grow into an adult, be as successful as them, have everything that they ever like been through, especially when it comes to like money and a job and everything.
Yeah. So we'll continue to talk about it, and like I said, if there's anything that we're not covering, or if you have concerns about, or is there something or topic that you would like to hear about, we would be glad to share. We're an open book. We can talk about anything. We don't have all the answers. I will tell you that for sure. I wish we did have all the answers, but we're also up here to gain information as well from those who might have, information that we have no knowledge of. So it's a transaction of information back and forth, and we're an open book. So we will hit y'all up next time with our next video. Stay tuned to hear more about Shyheem's life of growing up with Asperger's, which is on the autism spectrum. Okay, guys? We hope y'all have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy. Eat a lot of food. See you later.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for your time.